Herman Melville, the literary visionary behind Moby-Dick. One Life and Family. Herman Melville was born on August 1, 1819, in New York City to Alan and Maria Gansfort Melville. His father was a merchant who faced financial difficulties, and his untimely death in 1832 left the family in economic distress. This hardship forced young Melville to leave formal education and take on various jobs to support his family. Melville's early years were marked by a sense of adventure and a search for purpose. In 1839, he embarked on a journey as a sailor aboard a merchant ship, which introduced him to the sea, an experience that would later influence his literary works. In 1841, he joined the whaling ship Acushnet, setting sail for the Pacific. His time at sea, including his desertion of the ship and subsequent stay among the Typee people in the Marquesas Islands, provided rich material for his early novels. In 1847, Melville married Elizabeth Shaw, the daughter of a Massachusetts judge. The couple had 4 children: Malcolm, Stanwix, Elizabeth, and Francis. Despite his growing literary reputation, financial struggles plagued Melville throughout his life. His later years were marked by relative obscurity, and he took a job as a customs inspector in New York to support his family. He died on September 28, 1891, largely unrecognized for his literary genius, though his work would gain immense recognition in the 20th century. 2 main works. Herman Melville's literary career was diverse, spanning adventure novels, poetry, and complex allegorical narratives. His most famous work, Moby-Dick, is now considered a cornerstone of American literature, though it was largely ignored during his lifetime. Typee, 1846, and Omoo, 1847, are Melville's first 2 novels, based on his real-life adventures in the South Pacific. Typee is a semi-autobiographical account of his time among the Typee people, while Omoo continues his narrative of life at sea and his experiences with Polynesian cultures. Both books were well received and established Melville as a popular adventure writer. Moby-Dick, 1851, is Melville's magnum opus, a complex novel that blends adventure, philosophy, and symbolism. The story follows Ishmael, a sailor who joins the whaling ship Pequod, captained by the obsessive Ahab, who is determined to hunt the elusive white whale Moby-Dick. The novel explores themes of obsession, fate, and the limits of human knowledge. Initially a commercial failure, Moby-Dick was rediscovered in the 20th century and is now regarded as one of the greatest novels ever written. After Moby-Dick's failure, Melville experimented with new literary forms. Pierre, 1852, a psychological novel, explores themes of identity, family conflict, and artistic ambition. However, its unconventional narrative and dark themes led to poor reviews, further damaging Melville's reputation. 3. Anecdotes. Melville's life was filled with fascinating anecdotes that reflect his adventurous spirit and literary struggles. One of the most famous anecdotes involves his time among the Typee people. After deserting his whaling ship in the Marquesas Islands, Melville lived among the indigenous people, whom he later described as both noble and savage in Typee. His escape from the island reportedly involved a daring nighttime flight, adding to the mystique of his adventures. Another notable story concerns his friendship with Nathaniel Hawthorne. The two met in 1850 and developed a deep intellectual bond. Melville even dedicated Moby-Dick to Hawthorne, writing, "In token of my admiration for his genius." Their correspondence reveals Melville's philosophical depth and his struggle with existential questions, many of which found their way into his writing. Melville also had a reputation for being reclusive and eccentric. As his literary career declined, he withdrew from public life and focused on poetry and private philosophical writings. His neighbors in New York reportedly saw him as a mysterious figure, unaware that they lived near one of America's most significant literary minds. 4 controversies. One of the major controversies surrounding Melville was the reception of Moby-Dick. Upon its publication, many critics found the novel to be overly complex, meandering, and difficult to understand. The book's philosophical digressions and unconventional narrative structure alienated readers, leading to its initial failure. Some even viewed it as an attack on organized religion and American values, given its existential themes and critique of human hubris. Another controversy concerns Melville's portrayal of race and colonialism. While Typee and Omu sympathetically portray indigenous Pacific Islanders, some critics argue that his depictions still reflect a Western colonial perspective. Some works once led to debates about his stance on race and social justice. Rumors of mental instability also marked Melville's later years. His shift from adventure novels to deeply philosophical and often dark narratives led some to speculate about his psychological state. His family reportedly worried about his well-being, particularly after the tragic death of his son Malcolm, who died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound in 1867. 5. Conclusion. Herman Melville's legacy is a testament to the evolving nature of literary appreciation. While he struggled with financial instability and critical neglect during his lifetime, his works have since been recognized as some of the most profound in American literature. Moby-Dick, once dismissed, is now celebrated for its philosophical depth and narrative innovation. His adventurous life, intellectual friendships, and literary controversies add to the intrigue of his story. Today, Melville is regarded as a literary genius whose works continue to inspire and challenge readers worldwide.